We are back. I like your new jet that they were demonstrating there, Rob. I hope they remember to drop the keys back by you.
Yeah, I hope they do too.
That was nice. Well, we have some other jets ready to go here. These are the racing jets here in Reno. This is our first look at some jet racing today. This is Jet Race 2B. This is the Gold class, racing on day number 2. There it is.
And there's our pace plane, the blue and red and white. Yes, sir. Mr. Rick Van Dam, the pilot of our jet plane. That is an L-39. You know, we'll get to see some of those race as well. Aero Voda Hody. And then as we move into our racers here, they depart in qualifying order. This white and red aircraft, David Sterling, San Diego, California, race 8.
Qualified 432 miles an hour. It's L-39. After that, Scott Gusikoff. No, I don't believe that's Tumbling Goose right there. I believe that's Matt Guthnoy. Yeah, that's Alpine Thunder.
Alpine Thunder.
Absolutely. Scott Gusikoff will be the one next up. That's race 12. There's Scott Gusikoff with Michigan, Milan, Michigan. Tumbling Goose for their L-39.
Yeah, distinctive paint scheme with the yellow, black, and white paint scheme there, but beautiful look. Now here's our first look at one of the L-29s, Aero Voda Hody L-29 Delphines, as he makes his way down. This is Bob McCormick, race 55, in the Spirit of Freedom. We'll get a chance to talk about all these aircraft a little bit more in detail here in a minute, but there's another L-29 there, Tommy, with race 61, Tammy Camilleri, Miss Independence.
Fifth place qualifier, and there's your last place qualifier there. Al Hoover, the jet we were talking about, the French-made Fuga, Texas Fuga, CM-170 Magister.
And you know, his call sign is Cool Breeze, but his day job, Tommy, he's a tow pilot at the United States Air Force Academy.
Oh, really?
Things. Yeah.
Oh.
So,
but
let's talk about the jet class a little bit here. We talked earlier about they race on our larger 8-mile course. There'll be 6 laps, speeds exceeding 500 miles an hour. They will start by circling around Peavine Mountain back to our back, just like you see on the screen here. They come down the chute line abreast. The pace plane tells them they have a race, and off they go. Now, they have to stay in their lane until they get to the guide pylon. They can accelerate ahead, but they cannot turn in front until the guide pylon. They must pass on the outside, so the pole position is very, very important. Now, here's some view from in cockpit on a prior race as they make their way around, and here's a good look overhead of what our course looks like as they come down. They'll be coming from the bottom right corner of your screen and make their way into the course, and they'll circle around, and here they are coming around Peavine Mountain in our description here. You can see them line abreast. The pace plane will tell them, gentlemen, you have a race. You'll see the pace plane pull up and away, and they stay in those lanes, Tommy, all the way to the guide pylon with speeds approaching 475, 500 miles an hour, reach down right at 50 feet, right above the sagebrush. It's clipping by at 2 football fields per second as they make their way around the course. And again, we have that minimum 50-foot altitude, but also in some portions of the course restricted to 250 feet maximum. But you'll see all of our racers, for the most part, staying down low under that. Again, all of that is about safety and protecting our pilots and our spectators here at the National Championship Air Races.
You can see our planes getting everything in order. Again, they are going to go out back of our racing arena here, so to speak, and they will be returning, lined up and ready to go. Number 1 qualifier is David Sterling, San Diego, California. Let's hear from him.
My first year was 2006. I was flying in sport class, flew with them, and I still fly with them, but I've been flying the jet for the past 3 years.
How'd you do last year?
Last year, I came in second in silver.
What are you going to? What did you change from last year to this year?
I really didn't change anything. Just get more experience, and you get better flying the course with more experience.
There you go. Can you tell us about what makes air racing different than any other sport?
Well, the one thing is the camaraderie between us and the other crews. We have a great time. We call it the September family. But it's also a lot of fun, and I said this many times, it's a lot of fun to go that fast, that low, and not get yelled at.
What's your overall background in aviation?
I just retired as an airline pilot. I was an airline pilot for 40 years. and I've been flying almost half a century. Makes me feel old.
So you're just looking forward to getting out there and racing. It's the last year of Reno, so it's
Absolutely.
not emotional, but
Yes.
I mean, it's the best in the whole world. Every pilot here is phenomenal at what they do.
Yeah, the guys I fly with are tremendous. They're great guys, and they all fly really well.
David Sterling, your #1 qualifier, again a 432-mile-an-hour effort to qualify in first place for this silver class race. He came in second in the silver last year.
You know, Tommy, when you think back about the history, this was an exhibition class at one point.
Yes.
Back in 2000, it was an exhibition. They actually flew it with MiGs, which we no longer allow swept-wing aircraft. But former astronaut and my friend, Robert Hoot Gibson. Hoot Gibson, most people know, space shuttle astronaut.
Yeah, sure.
A racer here. He's a former national champion as well. He was one of the pilots during that exhibition and demo, and he described for me what it's like to fly a jet in this class. And he said, what happens, Rob, is as you come down the chute, you push the throttle up to 106% RPM, you keep the engine gas temperature in line, then you set the friction load on the throttle, and then you just fly the airplane. Very different than flying a unlimited aircraft where you're doing a whole lot of maneuvering the whole time. He said in the jet, you set things, and then you just fly, and it's all about airmanship. So that's what what we're going to see here in just a few minutes. Now, this class has been in place since that exhibition. Now, they were grounded in 2001 as the whole entire race was due to 9/11. And then also we did during the pandemic in 2020. But other than that, we've had a jet class every year. And then now here, it's part of our 59th year here at the National Championship Air Races. And we are about to see 500 miles an hour, or almost 500 miles an hour, 50 feet off the deck. This is going to be something.
Cannot wait. Our second youngest discipline here, second only to Stoll.
Now, our total class this year is made up of 13 different jets. We've seen L-29s. They were the second group that took off today. We have 6 of those in the class. We have 6 L-39s, and we have the one Fuga jet that actually is racing in this class. So that makes up our 13 for the races this year.
Looking forward to see that very different looking jet, the Fuga, with the V-tail there, and a totally different setup. Can't wait to see it in action. We always like the odd jets, the de Havilland Vampire that appeared here about 6-7 years ago. That was really fun.
1-2, keep it. Yep, you got room. Move back out. 1-2.
Now you can hear our pace plane talking to the aircraft here as we'll listen into the radio.
1-7, make it out a little wider. A little wider.
What he's doing is he's getting them lined up, Tommy, line abreast. We will see them pop into our camera view here in just a few minutes, but they are circling back behind us, if you will, behind Peavine Mountain. And the pace plane, Rick Van Dam is who's talking to him, getting them all lined up, and he wants to make sure they're just right.
A little further forward.
We will hear him say, gentlemen, you have a race here in just a second. At that point, it's going to be on. There it is, Tommy. We're on. Here we go. They are going to be coming into the shot here in just a second. Top right corner of your screen as they drop in. They are staying in their lanes, but streaking to the guide pylon. Here we go. You see on the pole position, that is David Sterling, who we heard from just a minute ago. He is on the inside track, making his way to the guide pylon. You see all 6 aircraft having to stay in their lane until they get to the guide pylon. They can advance and accelerate out in front, but they can't turn in. But David Sterling is able to hold the hold the pole position and make that turn. And they're staying 1, 2, 3, just as they took off there, Tommy, with Matt Goldmeyer in the blue. L-39, and then right behind him, the black and yellow Scott Gusikoff in the race 84 is in third.
David Sterling stepping out there a little bit, trying to gain a little early advantage here, but Gusikoff and Guthmiller not having any of that. They're going to try to drop down and catch him as best they can. This sets up to be a good race.
Here, look at them come right into our living room here, Tommy, at our pylon cam out in the desert. As they come around our final pylons and make their way around 7, 8, and 9, headed for the home pylon. For the first time, we're completing lap number 1 of 6 in our jet class here as he makes his way around. That is race 8. David Sterling, San Diego, California, continuing out front. Had the pole, and he's staying out front so far, Tommy.
Got a lot of experience, retired airline pilot. Flying for 40 years, I think he indicated there. There's something to be said for that.
284 is on your right.
I would bet if we could see behind that oxygen mask on his face, he's probably smiling ear to ear. You heard him talk about how fun it is flying 50 feet off the deck. in these jets around here. But look at this race here for second and third. Now the black and yellow aircraft is actually farther out, so it looks like he might be in front at the moment. But the blue aircraft of Matt Guthmeiler, Alpine Thunder, is actually on the inside track. So we got to kind of wait for them to come around the corner a little bit farther to see if this pass has made it. They are now descending into the Valley of Speed as they head southbound and come right towards us here at our pylon cam that we're going to see here in just a minute. Here we go.
They're tight.
Look at that. Close. He made the pass, Tommy.
Yeah.
We got the yellow one back. Race 84 is now in second position. And you can see here as they come around towards the home pylon, he's beginning to stretch that out just a little bit. So we had a successful pass there on the north end of the course. And we're going to slide back to our leader. There he goes, headed back into the foothills, if you will, where the guide pylon is.
Like David Sterling, while that was going on, has made a little advantage. A little more ground on the rest of the field there. So David Sterling looking in good shape right now early on. Well, we say early, but we're nearing the halfway point already. It goes so quickly.
It goes so fast, Tommy. You think about these jets, 50 feet off the desert floor, just above the sagebrush at 2 football fields per second. It's just kind of hard to imagine, but wow, what an exciting thing to see. And there you see David as he is around the far north end of our course, and he's going to finish this left-hand turn, drop into the Valley of Speed, roll it to the right, drop the nose, let the aircraft accelerate even a little bit more. I know he's got that firewall, that throttle firewalled, and he's going to come right over us here in the pylon cam as he makes his way back towards the home pylon.
We're running a strong line there, absolutely, no variation. All the discipline you need to just keep it in the right slot. Make your way around 6 times.
We talked about the different types of aircraft. This one here in the lead with race number 8, David Sterling, is an L-39 Albatross. That is a high-performance jet trainer built by the Czechoslovakian aircraft company Aerovoda Hody. Designed in the 1960s as a replacement for the L-29, who we also see in this race. And it was the first Czech trainer aircraft to be equipped with a turbofan power plant. Exported all over the world, and today it's one of the most popular civilian-owned aircraft in the USA, widely available on the open market out of third world countries especially. And here you see David Sterling taking advantage with his L-39. He's out front. He had it since the pole, and Tommy, he's just on the rails.
Yeah, he's pulling away, it seems like.
There's our second place racer, Tommy. That's the Tumbling Goose. Excuse me.
That's called Michigan.
Yeah,
Michigan.
Black, yellow, and white aircraft. Beautiful paint scheme. You see him turning towards the home pylon as he's completing lap number 4.
I've sort of stretched it out between the 1, 2, and 3.
We're going to jump back up to David Sterling in race 8 here as we make our way around. You get to see him coming right at you here in the foothills at the guide pylon. The folks here at the National Championship Air Races, the Reno Air Race Association, have held nothing back, Tommy. They've gone to every length to bring you the absolute best camera views of this spectacular racing.
You can just almost read his gauges right there. That's so close to our cameraman.
Yeah, absolutely. Now our liner at the top has Guthmiller in second, but actually Goosegoff is in second. Right. Guthmiller is in third, but David Sterling is our leader in race 8 on the screen there in front of you, coming back around to the what we believe should be the white flag.
Yeah.
As he comes by the home pylon
right
here.
Number 5 at this point. White flag, yes.
Just heard it on the radio. White flag, white flag. Got to like that. Here, 1 lap to go. David's just got to take it around one more time. As he heads back into the foothills there at the by the guide pylon. Tommy, we just have the most spectacular weather here this year for our races.
Unbelievable. You saw the flags just a few minutes ago. Absolutely dead still out there. It's perfect conditions.
Our leader continues to stay out front. You know, he had the lead from the start, and this is going to appear to be a flag to flag or pole to pole win for him if everything holds. And we've had one close portion earlier between second and third, but our leader is dropping into the Valley of Speed for the last time as he makes his way around and heads back towards pylon number 9 and heads back towards the home pylon where he should see the checkered flag.
San Diego, California's David Sterling, a lot of experience.
Checkered flag,
and totally unmolested, you might say, as he takes the win right there. In heat number 2B for Jet. Scott Gusikoff coming in second place here in Tumbling Goose, race 84. And there's Matt Guthmiller coming around.
Yep, and he's looks to be finished unofficially in third.
Alpine Thunder.
Beautiful blue airplane, L39. And here's our first L29 of this heat. Tommy is should be coming into our screen from the left here, finishing in fourth.
That's Bob McCormick, is it not?
Yes, it is, in the silver Spirit of Freedom.
Take forward. Pylon there.
Good race there. Who's gonna be last? There's a good race here between Miss Independence and Texas Fuga. Texas Fuga, the French plane, looks to be with a slight edge there.
Oh yeah, look at that. He's going to get him. That is going to be it. He's going to finish in fifth unofficially. Wow, look at that. Wow, I told you that was exciting.
Yeah, that would be.
It's so neat to see that Texas Fuga jet here. We haven't seen that here before. And man, he's given the L29 a race for its money. But here we are back at the start, Tommy, in the lane, coming down the chute. We've got our leader and pole position, David Sterling, the beautiful red and white aircraft. Here you see the whole field as they begin to make the break right at the guide pylon, and he stays out in front. Initially, we had Matt Guthmeiler in second there, but here you see right here, here's the pass from third to second.
Yeah.
Yes. Scott here gets right beside him. They're on the far north end of the course, and there you see a little bit of an optical illusion, but you can tell the black and yellow airplane is farther out, and then he does make the pass. You see it here as they come around pylon number 9.
That was as close as it was going to be for any of our races, really, until the very end. The final moments of this race were 5th and 6th. David Sterling, just in command all the way.
Yeah, and you see here why. You can see the beautiful lines that he's flying. You heard him before the race talk to us about his experience, and there he is taking the checkered flag. But here was the finish. The Texas Fuga took a whole race to get by the blue Miss Independence, but he finally did it and made a pass there at the end. So what a finale here.
Yeah, good debut there for the Texas Fuga. David Sterling took the top spot, the pole position, and made it work. Race number 8 in first place. Scott Gusikoff of Michigan in the Tumbling Goose, race 84, second place. Matt Guthmiller, Alpine Thunder, race 12. Bob McCormick, race 55. Al Hoover in Texas Fuga, 5th place, and Tammy Camilleri in 61. We will be back.